Hello and welcome back to Organic Cardboard once again at PecktecGames house. Today what we're going to talk about is one of the expansions for The Witcher. So we've been playing a lot of Witcher lately, and I've been really excited about the game. The game is it's a whole lot of fun, and it is pushing us to go through all these different expansions since both of us backed this full Kickstarter set, and we've got all of this content to go through, and we actually want to go through it this time, compared to some other Kickstarters that we've had that maybe we weren't so enthusiastic about getting through all that extra bloat, which I would not consider any of these expansions, at least from what I can see and what we've played, to be bloat. I think they're
we haven't done a lot of
additions.
them so far, but even what we've learned about ahead of time before we played it doesn't seem like it's all extra, but it's not so extra that you'd never wanted.
Right. It seems appropriate without being just a bunch of extra crap that you don't want to have to necessarily deal with when you're just trying to play the base game.
I can't think of many other games either where I've wanted to play into the more deeper into the things that has.
Same here. So this last game that we played, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do two videos here, and I'm gonna do one just talking about one expansion at a time. But the one we're gonna talk about in this video is the mages. And so the mages are an optional characters that you can use instead of using the witchers themselves. So they try to do a little bit of things with the mages to make them have a different flavor than the witchers. The witchers can do some magic. The different schools and stuff, they all have if you play the video game, Geralt that you're playing with, he's got a handful of little simple spells that he's using, but he's not a full-on mage. The mages are all about doing these kind of big destructive magic spells or defensive spells. But essentially, they play in a very similar way to the Witchers. You've still got most of the same tracks. They've all got their own unique special ability, just like each of the Witchers have their own unique special ability. They do have a separate set of cards though that they use. So the cards are a little bit different.
They're purple.
I think there's purple ones with the Witchers as well. And this is just the basic sets of these cards that we're comparing. The Witchers also have another expansion that gets even further with some more complicated cards. The mages have their own set, but they don't really go beyond that base set of whatever attacks and things that they can do. But the biggest difference between them and the Witchers is that instead of having a defense skill, they just have a wisdom skill that refers to them gaining mana or whatever, magic essence, power, energy that they're able to use to do some of their stronger attacks. So most of their cards have these additional effects that'll come in on the bottom of them, so you can play these cards and they have an energy requirement to do their stronger effect, or I guess most of the time it's a stronger effect that they're doing. At the very least, it's an additional effect to the card to make it more powerful, but you're pretty limited because they really tried to make that them pretty even, because you can play the Witchers and the mages together. This last game we only played the mages, where we've been playing the Witchers previously, but they make them pretty similar, and the amount of energy they can have is the same amount of shields that you could have as a Witcher, and the track otherwise just takes the place of the defense track would. So anytime you're playing the game and it refers to defense, then that is actually referring to your wisdom. You just kind of trade it out in your head. And then the energy level is going to take the place of shield. So anytime it refers to knocking your shield value down or raising it, then you're doing your energy instead.
I have to say too that normally having to do something like that little trade-off, it really means this for the now.
Yeah.
Normally that doesn't feel right. Sometimes it feels a little broken. It's defense is now my magical energy and stuff. I didn't get that impression though. It just kind of worked.
Yeah.
It worked just as well as that as it did. I kind of wondered, like, I almost didn't want to play the mages because I just want to be a Witcher. You know, I don't care about no magic people, but it was almost the same, but like it's just a little bit more flavor. You know, it's kind of once you've played the Witchers, it's super easy to transition to this.
It is, yeah,
and just as fun.
Yeah, and I like, cause I've been going through the books, and I really wanted to play the mages, not because I thought the mages were necessarily like, going to be better than the Witchers. I just wanted to just try them out because the mages can do some super cool things in the books. They've got all of the crazy magic abilities that you would think a mage could potentially do, and so that big trade off though with essentially the mages. The main flavor that you're getting off of them versus the Witchers is that they will have like stronger attacks. They're going to kind of explosive attacks, especially if they can maintain their energy level. Your energy level is like, again, it's limited, so you can only have 4 energy at a time, but you got cards that are increasing your energy if you can play your combos right, especially. You got cards that are kind of keep you going so you can keep doing those big attacks, but you don't have much defense. So the defense and the Witchers, they can hold on to like the shield value that'll go from one turn to the next. But with the mages, they have like this like magic protection spell that they're kind of throwing out there, and they can only hold that for so long, and so you're losing that every turn. So any shield values that you otherwise would be taking the place of with the protection spells, you're losing at the end of your turn, and so you have to keep throwing those down if you want to keep having protection. So you're a little weaker in that sense, but you're more powerful in attack.
It really adds another flavor of hand management. It's like, and that makes it very different from the way the Witchers operate. With that energy, because the Witchers don't really spend energy as they go.
No, not so much. Yeah,
and when you have shields, they're a temporary thing, so they're kind of like little, and that's what I've found was kind of weird. It's like if you throw out a bunch of shields, you have to just kind of remember, because you don't have, that's not translating to your board in any way really. You can kind of get some like shields to hold back from the next attack, but
at the very least you have your combo cards like sitting in front of you. You can leave those until the next turn maybe, because sometimes you're having to cycle through your discard pile might have to get shuffled, and so that would include that hand that you just played. So it could be a little bit confusing, but you've got all these poker dice, like Sean says, so it's going to be pretty rare that you're going to have more than 6 protection at a time. You certainly could. There wouldn't be much reason to want to throw those down, but maybe that's just the cards that you have, and you have other abilities that you're trying to play along with them. You may have a time, but you got multiple dice. You could just count them up with the dice.
That's true.
It didn't create a huge issue for us at any point. It wasn't ever really like super confusing. Battles are pretty simple anyways in the game, even though that's probably like the longest component of it is the fights themselves and sorting fights out, especially when it comes to me overanalyzing things. And that is one other difference I would say too with the mages, is that I think they're a little bit more complicated. It's not like it's probably not what you want to pull out on your first game. I don't think you want to pull the mages out in the first game. Or the first like 2, maybe even.
I would learn on the Witchers.
Yeah,
because what you learn on the Witchers will translate into making this really easy to pick up. Because you just trade one thing. It's really just maybe 2 things that are different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Just using energy. They've got a few different icons that they're using too. Some of their abilities are a little bit different. Like they've got ones where they can kind of search through the deck. I don't know if the Witchers might have had certain abilities to do something similar, but they have it in the expansion book. That's pretty easy to just flip to and keep that open if you want to learn that iconography, because the game has a lot of iconography, but it's pretty intuitive. You pick it up pretty quickly anyways, and that translates pretty well to the mages. I guess the thing that's just a little bit more complicated with them is the fact that they do have those additional effects that could take place if you have the energy to spend to do them. And so like you're trying to look through your hand and say like, oh, I really want to do this higher, like stronger ability on this card. I'm going to use all my energy. I'm not going to be able to do this other ability. How can I get these cards to work in a way that's going to maintain a little bit more energy? So it's a little bit more of a thought process, I think, in working your combos during combat. But otherwise, they have like the same terrain types on the bottom. They look pretty much the same as the Witcher cards. They play essentially the same otherwise, besides just the energy usage.
It's genuinely fun to sit and figure out the combo, and when you finally get the right combination of cards in your hand, and
super satisfying.
And it times out right. It's fun to like lay down 10 damage on your first turn.
Yeah, and they certainly can do some of the bigger hits. Like they've got ones on them where you spend a couple energy and you can do an extra 4 damage. So it's like you really want to do that. And if you're low on energy and you can't do that, you're like, how do I want to spend this card this turn? And you're trying to kind of figure it out, but you'll get there with it. But that's pretty much it with the mages. I don't think, was there anything else that you noticed that was really different about them?
Well, I don't think so. I would definitely, like you were saying, I would definitely play the Witchers maybe first, and if you, unless you just love the mages, like you're very interested in from the lore and stuff, you could go and throw them in. It's a really logical thing to add.
Yeah.
Like if you just got the core game or something, this is a good. This and the Skellige expansion, I think, are great like next steps into the larger world of the game and how it's broken down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they have like again they're fun like special abilities. Like I had a necromancer kind of mage, and you had one that was like a portal mage that gave you some more defense and stuff. I think too, more protection, which is pretty vital when you're a weak mage and you can't, you're not able to get much defense otherwise. But yeah, they're fun, and you can play just mages, you can play just witchers, you can play mages with the witchers, and they have the rules for that. We didn't really look too hard because we didn't play a game with the witchers and the mages together. But I know they had a whole separate setup section, but I think essentially it just came down to like
another lane of cards to choose from.
Yeah, like where you'll have cards that the witchers only take from their I don't know what they call that, action deck. Yeah. They only get their actions, and the mages can only get their own actions, but they're easy to tell the difference between the two. If not from the front, from the back, they have different the pictures on the back of it. So
the artwork on all this stuff, by the way, is great. I don't think we even mentioned that in the review.
No, we sure didn't. But yeah, the mages have very magey kind of theme art. It's really nice. And if you're wondering, like, there's some of the art's kind of sexualized. Well, like if you know the lore of The Witcher and the books, the mages are, like, in general, the majority of them are kind of sexualized in the book too. So there are some provocative pictures in there as well. No nudity or anything, but if you're wondering why they have like this, like kind of somebody that's looking a little extra provocative, that's why.
Sexy action cards.
Sex sells, but no, it is true to the lore of the book as well. But I think that's about all I got to say for the mages. I think that we're gonna do another one over the Skellige expansion as well. But yeah, I think that's about it for today. You didn't have anything else to add, right?
Nope.
All right. Well, hey guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I can't tell you guys how much we appreciate your eyeballs and just getting to spend some time with you. So thanks again. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, a couple of those free clicks on the screen really helps support out channels like mine and like Sean's. So check out Sean's channel over at PecktecGames as well. There'll be links at the end of this video. But as always, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you guys have an excellent rest of your evening. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Off to battle.